In this video, I'm going to be walking you through the exact steps that you need to implement right now in order to unlock your path to freedom. And what type of freedom am I specifically talking about? Well, it's financial, location, and time freedom. Basically, it's the ability to say F you to anyone. And the way that you're going to have the ability to say F you is by getting filthy rich. And with that money, you can splash it on fast cars, you can buy lots of properties, luxury holidays, you can also treat your friend and families to gifts. And the way all of that is possible is through OnlyFans management. So I'm going to be giving you the exact step-by-step guide that I wish that I had when I started my OnlyFans management agency 3 years ago. So if you've been doing OnlyFans management for less than a year or you haven't even started yet, then this video is going to be insanely valuable for you. So I recommend sticking until the end of the video so you don't miss any of these little nuggets that we're going to discuss. So without further ado, let's get started in how to start an OnlyFans management agency for beginners. So step one is the setup of your agency itself. Now there's 3 fundamentals that you need to get started with. So first, you need to pick a name for your agency. Second is the branding of your agency as well. And the third is the website. So these are the fundamentals that you need in order to say, yes, I have a business, and yes, this is my agency. Now, do not spend too much time on this at all. Lots of people say they're going to set up an LLC, they're going to start setting up the structure of their business. You don't need to worry about any of that stuff until you actually got money coming in. And then as soon as you got your first client, then you can worry about sorting out your finances and the legalization of the actual business, because at that point, it's then a business. So at this point, you just need to come up with a short, catchy name, make sure it's memorable, and then you need to come up with good branding. So to do branding, what I recommend is you pick 2 colors which blend well together. So for example, I picked white and blue. They're 2 colors that kind of represent OnlyFans and they go well with each other. So I picked that for the theme of my actual OnlyFans management agency. You could pick different colors, so you could have blue and yellow, different colors. Just make sure you have a brand theme, and of course along with that brand you have the different assets created for it. So you have assets that you can put on the actual website in terms of graphic designs. You can go on these different websites and find icons that you can use for that, and as well as that you have a good graphic logo that you can feature throughout your agency resources. You've got the basics of your agency setup. Now we go on to step 2, and step 2 is outreach. So outreach is the process of reaching out to the market and essentially getting models interested in working with your agencies. That's the whole process of outreach, and it's an integral part of the model recruitment system because it's how you get models interested in working with your agency as opposed to others from the get-go. So you need that traffic coming through to your model recruitment system. Now, at my agency, we go about it very differently as opposed to most other agencies. We tend to do it in the form of outreach instead of ask. We actually go give. So we go ahead and give value to the market. Now, Gary Vee is a very famous entrepreneur. He has a whole book on this. I think it's called Jab, Jab, Hook. So essentially, you just keep on giving value. And then once you're giving enough value, then you hook in with the offer. And we use a very similar concept at my agency. So how this works is we have a client attraction asset. So a client attraction asset could be an audit, a cheat sheet, an ebook, something of value that is going to help people out and it's actually going to provide value. So it could be a section script, for example, something that they can implement straight away and see, oh wow, this is boosting my sales, something they genuinely get value from. We go out into the market and we just offer that very simply. Give them value, they say, yes, I want the value. In exchange for that, we get their contact information, and then we can then further follow up, outreach them, provide more value until they feel like the law reciprocity is kicked in and they actually want to reciprocate that value back to us. So that's an integral part of the step. Now, in terms of actually giving out this value, you need a thorough system in place to do that on scale. It's no point in sending out 5 messages a day and wondering, I'm not getting that many messages back. You need to add scale to your operation. So I recommend starting off small with 1 Instagram account, sending 25 DMs a day out to models, and then you can scale that up to 4 accounts that you manage, sending 25 DMs and then pushing that up to 50 DMs on all these accounts. So you get to the point where you're sending 200 DMs a day, then you can add another one. Start off system building, it's key that you start off with the system small and then you scale it up. Don't start it with all these different variables and all these different things you need to manage. Start off simple, because simplicity scales. So we create multiple accounts so we can do lots of outreach to these models on Instagram, because of course Instagram is the best platform by far to find these OnlyFans models. So we send DMs that we're offering value, and we have follow-up systems within the DMs as well. We outsource this all to a virtual system. So we have the resources pre-built, just hand it over to the virtual system, away the virtual system goes, sends these messages, reports it in this sheet, and we have leads coming into our agency. So we can get leads as and when we want. And that is crucial. And it's the number one predictor of success in terms of OnlyFans management, is actually having a predictable system to get model leads. I talk about it in a lot of other videos, because you go from a place of scarcity to a place of abundance, and that's a major shift that everyone needs to make. But it's a very powerful stuff. Now, of course, when we have the follow-ups, we then get them on a demo sales call where we run through and actually just get to know each other. And then after that, we have the sales call where we then go through and try and negotiate a good percentage contract. We tell them what we offer, how we can help them, why they're struggling with certain things. And we say, look, we can fix all this. All we're going to do is take a percentage rev share, typically around 50 to 75%, depending where they're starting at. If the account is lower, it's a little bit more risk for us, so we can actually get a higher percentage deal than opposed to if the account is already fully established and they're making 20-30k a month, because some of the models we do sign are already making that at that point. Then in that case, we'll just pitch 50%. So you need to really tailor it to the models that you're reaching out to. Step 3 is onboarding. So at this point, you've actually got the foundations of your agency in place. You're reaching out to models, you're getting them interested, they're now working with you. Now we need to go through the process of onboarding them in your agency. Now, onboarding is very simple. The first step to it is getting them to sign a contract. You do not have a model signed until she signs that contract. I cannot tell you how many times that we've had models who've said, yeah, I'm really interested, and then stupidly just ended the call, sent the contract over to them, and then they haven't signed it. So get that contract signed on that call. You can even run through it with them. And at that point, you just need to get them to literally just do a digital signature for it. We personally use esignatures.io. Esignatures.io is a very useful tool. We can literally pay per contract we want to send out. So we just send this out to the models, and of course it comes through to their email, and they can just do a digital signature. And we have this contract pre-built, so when we're on the call, we have it ready to send out. So there's none of this trying to figure what out and the actual specifics of it. Now, once we've got them signed on a contract, we then need to go through creating the client folder. The client folder is where the model is going to be able to send content over to you. It's where she's going to be able to see how her account is doing at a glance. And it's also where she's going to be able to get general help in terms of content creation. So we have a huge document in terms of content creation. We give them access to this within the client folder, so they know exactly what our content requirements are when they join the agency, because it's a good way to test if they're going to be a good model. As if they don't make the content that we're asking for, then chances are they're not going to be a good model, because we need content to sell, obviously. Believe it or not, it does happen. So by having this upfront requirement, it's a good way to test the model out in terms of whether she's serious about growing this. And it lists in detail exactly what they need to do, so there's no questions asked about it. Now we have a client repository. We have the actual folder repository, so they upload content to it. We have it categorized in different categories, so we can then attach that to a content management database, which is another video in it of itself. But essentially, we're collecting content for social promotion, we're collecting content for the pay-per-views, and we're also collecting content for the actual community nurturing, so the wall feed within OnlyFans. And we need different content types for those 3 structures, and then within those 3 structures, there's of course different further types, such as Reels for TikTok, and general GIFs for like Reddit and stuff like that. So that is how we collect content from the model. They just go to this Google Drive folder and upload it into that specific folder, depending on the type of content it is. Now, we do have client reporting as well. So we have a daily reporting template, which literally aggregates the model's earnings input it there, so they can see very quickly whether, at a glance at the start of the day, whether their account's going up or whether their account is, whether it's stagnated. So, it allows the models to be very happy and comfortable in terms of how their account is doing. And you don't need to be sending them constant reports. You can actually just forward it over to them once a week and say, hey, look, the numbers are up this week. They're continuing to go up. We're going to be trying this week. And all that stuff's already within this reporting folder. So it's really nice and simple for the model, really professional. It's a really good experience for her. There's zero questions about anything because everything is explained to a T. So the model is just left to take action. Now, next we need to set up client communication. Now, we personally use Slack for client communication. So we add our models to our Slack channel, and then within that channel, they can then have different basically chats where they can speak to the chatters. Where there's custom content being requested, we need them to be able to speak to the chatters in the account. If the chatters have an issue, them chatters speaking to me, then me speaking to the model, that's just adding more headache in terms of the operation. So we have it so the model can speak directly to the chatters, and of course the chatters are already really experienced, pre-trained before they're plugged in and working with the model. So at that point, we can also then speak to the model on there if we have any questions at all. And it's just good to be able to, if we need to send an invoice over, we can do that all on Slack. If she's got any specific questions, we can do that all on Slack as well. So Slack, I do recommend for the actual management of your models in terms of actually speaking to them. Now, next we need to set up a software. So we have a general software that we get started with all our models, and that software is called Super Creator. So Super Creator is a really good tool, and essentially it's an OnlyFans CRM. So as soon as you get a model's account, you're going to want to create a Super Creator account, and you're then going to want to insert the model's details into that Super Creator, so you can log in through that. And then once you've got that set up, at that point, we can then do some fun stuff in terms of the chatters can then go in the account. They can, import these scripts to get going straight away. They can actually do some, adjust the settings. So follow expired fans. We're already retaining lots of these fans. Set up custom messages that we send out, on a weekly, fortnightly basis. There's lots of fun tools we can do. We can see which subscribers making the most. We can categorize, and then we can then make a pricing structure for each. A dynamic pricing structure for each subscriber within the actual model's OnlyFans account. So that's a really important tool when onboarding a model. And then finally, we actually do a consulting call with the model. So we just want to hop on a consulting call. We basically just want to walk them through everything, make sure they're clear on where the client folder is at, where they can speak to us, where we're going to be communicating from then on. How this process is going to work, the type of content we're expecting, absolutely everything. So we have it all set up. Everything is in place, ready to start printing out money, and we have the model in the full know-how and is just ready to just start producing content. And it's at that point that you can get really excited, because that is when your life is going to change. Believe me, it's happened to myself, and I've also mentored over 40 plus OnlyFans management agency owners at this point. Some of them are just starting off and they're just doing 10K a month. Some of them are already doing 200K a month as well. Some people doing 0 to 70K a month within less than 90 days. So believe me, once you get all of this set up, that is when the fun starts, and it's when you start making some serious fuck you money. So if you did enjoy this video, make sure to hit that like button. And if you're interested in getting your OnlyFans management agency built on autopilot for you up to 50K a month in 90 days or less, for the pre-built systems I have for my agency, then just feel free to go in the description below and actually book in a call myself. You'll be speaking with myself just to get to know you and see whether you'd actually be a good fit for those systems that we've got in place already, to basically just fire away, give to you, so you can just do this exact process and just start spitting out money. And obviously we do have in the description below a free 5-day OnlyFans management agency course. Now, I've had lots of people send me messages saying, this is more valuable than some courses that are paid for. So with that said, you need to go down in the description, sign up, check out the link and actually go through the 5-day free OnlyFans management agency course in case you want to learn a little bit more about it. So my name's Ethan, and I just want to thank you for watching this video all the way through, and I really look forward to speaking to you in the next video.